Alright guys, I got a new one for you. I am going to be mounting my front plastic on here. I wanted to do something custom. I wanted to do either like really close like this, just like the RSF 650, where it stays close to the tire and it moves with the tire, or maybe just put it like somewhere in the middle. So what I'm going to plan on doing is making a metal plate cover all that, and then using this to like make a little frame custom for it. And then I'm thinking about maybe cutting this. It's going for a little bit of a different look, shaving this off. I don't know. We'll play with it, see what happens. Also, what I'm going to be doing today is extending the swing arm. I see guys on Facebook, they do it like 4 inches, 5 inches, and I just think it's a little much. So I'm going to be doing 3 inches. So my plan is to just weld this right onto the back, make a C-notch, move everything from the brakes back, get a longer chain, and call it a day. I see a lot of guys cut the tube here and here, they extend this. It's like a lot of work. I got this. This is it's a little bit thicker than what it is here. So, and if I was going like 6 or 8, I could see maybe this being a problem as far as bending, because it's not as strong as like maybe cutting it here. But I'm only going 3 inches, and I think it'll be fine. So I'm just gonna just put it there, weld it on every surface, maybe put a little bit of Bondo, and then just respray the whole swing arm. So yeah, that's what's coming up. Time to take it all apart and get going. Okay, so this is about halfway through. Decided on the mount, instead of mounting it up here and making a square frame, that was kind of my first thought. Decided to mount it to the bottom, that way the fender moves with the wheel. So I made this bracket, just a little plate to block the holes. And this is just a big, that metal I was showing you earlier, we just bent it here. We welded it onto and part of the washer. And then here, made a little L bracket that's going to tie in to that bolt right here. And then as far as the top goes, I'm just going to put a little bracket out, maybe just an inch. Put 2 holes there, and then 2 holes here with 2 screws. So it's going to sit just like that. So, almost done. Gotta take it off and paint it, and finish it up, and mount it. Hey guys, all right, welcome back. The bike is complete. It took me about 3 days to finish it, working 4 to 5 hours on it every day. It's probably the most work I've put into this bike as far as customization goes. The sanding and the grinding and everything was just a little more than I expected. But hey, I'd encourage you guys to just go for it. I used a $100 welder from Harbor Freight, and I don't have any welding experience. So, I mean, if I figured it out, you guys could too. This project's been really fun, and it's not even coming close to an end. I have big plans for this bike. I do plan on putting a Suron motor and converting it to 90 volt with a huge Sabaton controller. So that's a little bit far out in the future, but that is eventually the end goal here. It just started off as kind of like just fun, and it just keeps kind of evolving. So I'd encourage you guys to start messing around and modding as well. So I didn't want to put the original mount on the swing arm. It was kind of bulky and big for the brake. So I went with something a little bit more subtle, just small down here. And instead of the brake sitting up high here, it kind of sits farther down. which gives me an idea for the future. It leaves more space over here where I could mount a secondary brake, and I can hook that one up to a foot pedal, so I could have both. I could use both at the same time, or use one or the other if one was kind of getting overheated and I wanted to swap back and forth. That's kind of a cool idea I got for the future. What sucks is I kind of grounded out my motor a little bit so the tire would fit with the swing arm, and then I ended up extending this. Now my motor's kind of ground there, but I'm sure this motor will probably blow in the next 6 months or less, so that'll be nice and clean again. I like to keep my bike looking as clean and as kind of as stock as possible. That's why I have this on, and that's why I stayed with the stock paint color. It's got a little bit of a gloss, kind of almost looks aluminum with a little bit of sparkle. It's wheel paint from AutoZone. I think it's more durable because it's made for wheels. It's lacquer, so it dries faster. It's easier to work with. So yeah, the bike's done. The swing arm's done. The front mount. I originally was gonna go with a different thing, kind of a little bit higher, but I don't know. I just wanted to do something different, a little bit more, something that I haven't seen before. So I decided to go with this. I am a little disappointed with how thick this is. Now looking at it, kind of standing back, it's kind of, I don't know, it kind of draws away from the fork. But it is what it is, you know. It's a little thicker than it needs to be. It's really solid, but I don't have to worry about it going anywhere, you know. All right, guys, I wanted to show you the front forks in action with the front fender on there like that, how the wheel stays with the fender. Kind of just see that from different angles. There it is. Hey, I'm just curious what you guys think of the front fender. Please put in the comment section if you like it, if you don't, and the reason why you don't. And if you think I should maybe trim it, make it rounder here, or possibly just cut it off from right here and take the whole back off. What do you guys think the best look would go? I'm getting mixed reviews about it. All right, guys. So I don't notice a whole lot of difference when I'm riding. I did re-put some air in my air shock because I knew that the extension, you know, mechanical advantage, I would need a little bit more air. So I did bring the air up. So it's kind of hard to tell because I've had that the other air PSI for so long, and I put it up like about 30-40 PSI just to compensate for the 3 inches. But riding it, you can feel, it does feel like a little bit larger of a bike, and it doesn't feel quite as like zippy, like nimble left and right. But I mean, to be honest, there isn't like a whole lot of difference in the ride feel, other than it's just feeling a little bit bigger. Now, I haven't been full speed on it, because I had just put the new chain on and I haven't lubed it. I just got excited, wanted to ride it. So yeah, I have links to the chain in my other video for the builds list, the chain that I use. You can buy, I think it's 20 bucks, and you can buy 10 feet of it. And I've never, to this day, I always keep, I have a little pouch here, and I always keep an extra chain on a ride just in case one snaps. But to this day, I have not had one snap, and I have over 1,000 miles on this bike. And I do change the chain once a month, like I say in my other videos. Just because I don't want one to snap while I'm like in LA, like in the middle of a huge ride, or like in a sketchy neighborhood or something. So every month or month and a half, I put a new chain on, but I still haven't had one snap. I just lube it every time I ride it. And another thing, a little trick, is a lot of guys have problems with the tensioners, and a lot of people online are like, oh, you know, take the tensioner off, it's horrible. So the tensioner's 10 bucks on Amazon, and you can find a replacement for it easily. Just, you know, razor tensioner, pop right up. I'll even put a link in to make it easy for you guys. But the only thing you need to do is you pull the spring down, okay? You hold it with another pliers, then you use needle nose, and you just grab it and twist it like this, and you'll bend the spring up, so it puts a lot more tension on the chain. And then another thing you have to do is take off your plastic right here, it's just 2 Phillips, and look at the tensioner. It bends super easy because it's just soft, cheap metal. So once you got the tension on the spring good,
then you gotta make sure it's aligned and it's not rubbing the side of the chain. A lot of times it rubs the side of the chain, and then every time the master link comes around, it tick, 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 tick. So you hear this ticking all the time, and it's annoying. All you gotta do is line it up, tighten the spring, you're fine, and then lube it up. Make sure your chain's lubed. I haven't had a problem with one tensioner failing since I've done that, and I haven't had a problem with one of these chains. A lot of guys say put bigger chains, and yeah, they are stronger and they are better and they don't stretch. I totally like agree with that, but I haven't had one chain fail on me, and they're so cheap. And so yeah, I had to put a longer chain on this. I didn't count the links, but it was significantly longer. And yeah, we'll see how it goes on these big rides. These big rides will be a big tell to see the feel, the durability. And I'm pretty confident with the strength, to be honest. You know, I don't feel like there's enough weight there to like crack all that weld. But you never know. Hopefully the Bondo helps with the strength too. So yeah, that's this is pretty much where I'm at now. The next thing is got to be forks. I got to get hydraulic forks, and then after that, I think it's going to be motor and more voltage and bigger battery. I'm thinking about like a 35 to 40. I'm just going to try to go for 40 amp hour, 90 volt. I think that'll be ideal, but it's expensive, and you know, this hobby can definitely add up very fast. But yeah, it's a blast, and I can't wait for the next mod. We'll see what happens next. Either forks or motor, or I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned.